Back to Richmond, Virginia. Final pool play game for these two teams here at the 2023 World Cup. It's going to be the United States versus Belgium. Both teams are undefeated in their pool so far and have not really been challenged by the three other teams in their pool: Norway, Hong Kong, and African nations. This is also a rematch of the 2018 World Cup Finals, which was the last World Cup held for the quad ball before COVID. So both of these teams are a little familiar with each other and really looking to come out and take this game. Ben Mertens and Julia Rankin on the call. And Julia, what are we looking for first from Team USA in this game?
From Team USA, something that I've seen them doing today and something that I need them to elevate against Belgium is their ball movement. They've been doing a great job moving the ball today, but I feel like Belgium's going to do a good job at keeping up with them defensively on that ball movement. So it's going to have to be crisper, even crisper passes, a lot of passes, and just a lot of patience from Team USA in order to get this game under their control.
And on the Belgian side, we've seen them be as dominant as Team USA in their first two games today. What are they going to need to do to take a game off this highly touted American side?
Something I want to see from Belgium, I saw it offensively in a couple of games, but not necessarily defensively, is physicality. These players are willing to drive through the defenses, they're willing to take shots when needed, and it doesn't look like they're too scared of getting hit, but I didn't see a whole lot of big hits from them on defense, and when you have players like Trudeau, when you have Taylor Crawford, who's a great driver in his own right, you're going to have to really step up and be willing to hit these people. And not just willing, but you need to be successful at it.
One thing I saw when both these teams played African nations, who are probably the most physical team in the pool besides these two teams, the United States basically, neither team was able to fully get through that African nation's physical chase of defense. Team USA was able to beat them by swinging the ball around, stringing a lot of passes, getting second and third opportunities. Belgium mainly beat it by winning on speed to the outside, beating the point defenders to the side, and then hitting a shot or one pass. And we'll have to see if that is going to work against these Team USA point defenders who are some of the very best in the sport and well used to players who are going to try to win on speed. We'll see if Belgium is still able to get into the lane like that, like they were against African nations, Norway, and Hong Kong, or if Team USA is able to shut that down. And in the beater game, obviously great bludger play on both sides. Louis Lermit, the name to watch for Belgium. Obviously on the Team USA side, I assume we're going to see a lot of Daniel Williams, Jackson Johnson, Bailey Fields. We know Lulu Zhu is not, I believe, active for this game, has been suffering through an injury, so there is a little bit of a depth issue on the Team USA side. But players like Casey Irwin, Celine Richard are going to be more than able to fill that gap. So the beater matchup here is going to be the key thing. The United States is both teams, I should say, have dominated bludger control in all three games so far today. African nations, I think, again, gave both teams some trouble in the bludger control in the beater game, but both teams had dodgeball control more often than not. And we'll have to see who ends up winning that in this one, because if the chasers are able to match each other physically, it's going to come down to who has bludger control more often and uses it more effectively.
That being said, with dodgeball control, as you said, both of these teams have really been dominating in that aspect of the game. So something I'm really going to be interested in seeing is how either team responds to not having that dodgeball control and how they're going to move their offense and work with their beaters in order to get that back, because it's not necessarily something they've had to do a lot of today, whereas in this game I expect a bit more of a battle in that area.
And we've seen both teams mostly play the 2-2 zone, keeper in the green headband at point, hanging out in the keeper zone so they can't get beat, with another chaser up top with them, and then two taller bodies on the hoops. We'll see if both teams are confident in that zone, even against their toughest opponent of the day, or if either of them tries to do something a little more exotic or out of the box, like a tree zone, mark defense, a 1-1-2. So that's something to watch as well as we get into this contest here. Belgium still passed the ball around. Team USA just finished their huddle off to the side here. The referees, I think, are concluding their meeting, but we should be getting started in just a minute or two here. This will be the second to last slot of the day for the rest of this pool. Hong Kong 0-3, both these teams 3-0, and African nations and Norway both 1-2. Both of them beat Hong Kong and lost to two of these two teams, so they'll play each other in the next time slot. Winner of that game will advance to the bracket, and the loser would be eliminated from bracket play, with the top three in each pool advancing to the bracket tomorrow.
Should be a very exciting game to watch right after this.
So Team USA still coming out in their reds, and I think Belgium is also going to be wearing red. They're different shades of red. Belgium obviously has black on their jersey. And Team USA also has both teams have gold numbers. Belgium has some black on their jersey. Team USA is wearing red shorts. Belgium's wearing black shorts. So there's some distinction in the uniforms, but it is going to be red on red, it looks like.
You would hope with players at this level, it's not going to affect them too much. It's not necessarily passing to just like.
It's passing to faces, yeah.
Yeah, like you know your teammates at this point. We'll see them.
Yeah, well, for the viewers at home, if it's at all difficult to tell, we'll keep you abreast of who's on which team as best we can. Team USA starters are all out, so it's going to be the Chaser starters we've seen for most games today. Luis Sanchez, Josh Johnson, and Augie Monroe, along with Rachel Field at Chaser. And that's Bailey Fields and Jackson Johnson, who serves as Team USA's assistant coach, as the beater pair to start. It'll be Augie Monroe running for the quad ball and Jackson Johnson running for the dodgeball. We've seen a lot of good stuff from this first line. They've played with these three male players, played with Rachel Heald in the first two games, and then she was replaced by Athena Mayer for the game against Hong Kong. Heald has a nice chemistry with all three of these players, and then the three of them all play together on Texas Cavalry in the regular season, who have won multiple USQ champions and were in the finals in April this year, losing to the Warriors. So a lot of chemistry, a lot of different skill sets there. Johnson's one of the best shooters on the team. Monroe kind of deadly from all over the place. Sanchez, a good downhill driver and facilitator, and Heald, obviously a great passer and a great lob catcher when she's off the ball, and with a pretty good shot of her own. So a lot of options for Team USA here. And then Jackson Johnson and Bailey Fields play together back in Texas State, and then at Texas Hill Country Heat, as well as the Austin Outlaws and MLQ. A lot of chemistry there, a lot of years together, a lot of experience as a duo. Belgium still hasn't sent their starters out, and it looks like the referees are still discussing.
Something.
Yeah, the head referees just come over to speak to Michael Parada, the USA's head coach, not sure about what. And then we have a discussion between the referees and the flag runner, looks like, and then Belgium slowly making their way out. Looks like their starters are starting to make their way out onto the field. Everyone will be on that far side of the pitch there. One person on each team to run for the dodgeball, one on each team to run for the quad ball, and then the other four players just off to the side. They'll run and kind of set up right away. We've seen it mostly today, even when Team USA has won the quad ball, they've just pulled it back and gone into half guard. They haven't tried to immediately attack. I think that strategy makes sense since their team's going to have one beater back in the play. But we'll see when this one gets started, which should be any minute. We've got a huge crowd out for this one, Julia.
Yeah, the crowd knows that this is going to be a game to watch. As you said, this is a rematch of the 2018 finals, and it's been the highly anticipated game of this pool, at least.
It's
possibly not the tournament so far.
It's possibly a preview of the 2023 finals, right? Whoever wins this game, both teams are already guaranteed to make it to the bracket and reach the quarterfinals. We could very easily see a rematch in the finals tomorrow. Both teams have looked extremely crisp in their three dominant wins in pool play so far. But we'll have to see how this contest goes. Obviously, being the one seed would give you a bit of an easier path to the finals tomorrow, but certainly losing this game doesn't end either team's hope of a gold medal.
And even though we're calling it a rematch of the 2018 finals, it's certainly going to be a completely different game. Not only do we have new players mixed into this, but even the core players.
5 years older.
5 years older, and it has been 5 years since we've gotten like true international play with Team USA being included in it. So this is going to be a nice preview of for them to see what Team Belgium has been able to do in the meantime, and vice versa. Team Belgium's finally going to get to see what Team USA has been up to these years.
And Belgium's a strong side in Europe. Obviously, reached the 2018 World Cup finals, as we mentioned, lost to the CSA. Reached the 2019 European Games finals and lost that matchup. But then in 2022, last summer, only came in 7th at European Games. I think there was some question as to what kind of side we were going to see today. That question's been answered. This is as good of a team or better than the team that reached the finals in 2018. This is definitely going to be the biggest challenge Team USA faces in pool play today, and this is a real contender for the gold medal this year. We've got assistant referees getting the brims set. We've got the balls already lined up. Not sure if there's going to be any further hold up here. Looks like the head referee is speaking to some of the crew here. Belgium starters are out here off to the side. You may not be able to see them on stream because they're not lined up yet, but they are here off to our left, separate from their bench, just discussing their initial strategy. So it looks like we're going to have Louis Lermit and Elizabeth Reniers as the starting beater core for Belgium, a group they really trust. I can see Sepp de Wit is going to be starting a keeper. That's one of their primary ball handlers and a huge scoring threat, as well as a very good passer. Not able to see the rest of the chasing starters yet for Belgium. We'll get you those as soon as they make their way out onto the field. Wind is picking up a little bit. It's cooled off. It was quite hot for the game slots, about a couple hours before this, but sun's starting to go down after 5 o'clock. It's getting cooler, and a nice little breeze has picked up, so that'll be a relief to the players out on the field as well as us commentators here in the booth.
If this is the first game you're tuning into today, just to speak to how hot it's been for the players out, at 15 minutes there will be a heat break just so that they can go get water, get some shade, work a little strategy in the meantime. And it has been very much necessary to have this break for a lot of the teams today, especially the ones who have come a little short rostered. Not these two teams, but it's still nice to have.
Well, one thing that was mentioned to me is the United States, right, the home team, has been practicing in heat similar to this all summer. Australia being in the Southern Hemisphere, it's winter there right now, so those players were practicing in 40-degree weather or so before suddenly coming to Richmond and dealing with the 80, 90-degree heat and intense humidity. Obviously, Australians are no strangers to the heat in the summer, but it's a bit of a shock to the body to go from practicing those colder temperatures to playing these intense games in the hotter temperatures.
Not only are you dealing with possible jet lag, but you're also dealing with the heat and humidity. We do have an answer as to why the game has been a little delayed. It looks like Team Belgium will be wearing pennies for this game, much to the dismay of the crowd.
Yeah, so we mentioned there would possibly be a red-on-red matchup. The referees thought that was going to be too confusing, so they brought out pennies for Belgium to wear. I'm not sure if there was a coin toss to determine that, but so Belgium will be in green, pennies over their jerseys, and Team USA won't be in their reds. And we saw a lot of booing from the crowd there, I think, about the Belgian jerseys having to be changed. Heavy Belgian fan presence in the crowd, and I think in general Europe is going to stick together this tournament. Team USA will probably be not the crowd favorite despite being the home team. Europe has traveled really well for this tournament. So we should have a lot of crowd participation in this game. It's been a great weekend for that. We're getting a chance right now of change your jerseys. Team USA is not going to, so it will be Belgium in these green pennies, Belgium in these green pennies against Team USA in red. The Belgian players now are pennied up and are making their way over to the starting line. The pennies do make it a little difficult to see the player numbers. We'll still do our best to give you the players out on the field for Belgium.
Hey, here we go, USA!
I can see Victor Marks is starting at chaser for Belgium, it looks like. We mentioned Sepp de Wit out there at keeper already. Not able to tell. I think that's... Yeah, I think maybe Hermans is also starting at chaser. We knew Louis Lermit, we already discussed, is starting at beater for this game. And some changes, it looks like, to the Belgian starters. Yeah, for the moment, Joy Hegmans is out there. Still more discussion between the Belgian coaches and the referees. I think there's discussion about how they're going to be allowed or not allowed to wear the pennies because they're covering the numbers. So it looks like Belgium might just flip their jerseys and wear them inside out, which would effectively have them be wearing white. And I think that'll make it a little easier to see the numbers for the referees, because a huge part of refereeing our sport is calling out who's beat and having to call out the number of the player who's been beat, so the player in question knows that they're the one who's been hit and needs to tag up at the hoops.
The hard part about that is when you flip the number...
They're mirrored now, yeah.
Yeah, when you flip the jerseys inside out, you still have to read the numbers backwards.
So that's Katrine de Donker starting at chaser for Belgium, along with Victor Marks, Sepp de Wit, and I believe that's Herman is going to be the final chaser starter. And then at beater, it looks like it's not going to be Lemit, it's going to be Aaron Meese, along with, I think that's Elizabeth Reniers still starting. That looked like a 13 from here. And I believe that's her, yes. So we've got our 6 starters. We've got both teams lined up. Belgium's going to be in white. Team USA in red, and we're just a few seconds away from what should be the best matchup of day one.
Thank you for bearing with us while this game gets started. I promise you, the wait will be worth it.
So Monroe versus Marks on the run-up for the quad ball here. Game has begun. Marks is going to be first to it, heavily pursued by Monroe. Marks is going to go and try a shot pass. That shot gets to an instant connection from Marks to, I believe, De Doncoeur for the quick goal, and that puts Belgium in the lead 10-0. That's the first time Team USA has trailed this entire tournament.
Yeah. That was great composure by the Belgium chaser in order to get that goal.
Augie Monroe handling on the right side. Going to try to pass right to it. It is knocked down by Sepp DeWitt, and that's something we talked about Team USA. These lazy passes that worked against some teams are not going to work against this Belgian team. DeWitt punishes them there, and it's a quick stop for Belgium, and now they're going to get to go to work again. Here comes DeWitt now. Dragged down by Luis Sanchez, but gets the pass off. De Doncoeur manages to get her pass off too. That's Victor Marks. Marks gets it back to DeWitt, and DeWitt's going to slow it down now. Sanchez saying, come on, let's go to him, trying to get in his head. DeWitt passes it off now. Back to DeWitt. DeWitt pressured again by Sanchez. Beater's there to protect DeWitt. Possibly looking for the shot. Going to float it behind to Marks instead. Hoop gets knocked down in the process. Marks back to DeWitt. Patient look from Belgium here, trying to take advantage of the fact that they have bludger control and find a really good look for their chasers. Drive coming. Floated pass behind to De Doncoeur. Sends it back up, but Luis Sanchez intercepts it. Good read there, and Team USA is going to come up with the stop and have a chance to push. Sanchez is hit from behind, and the ball is poked out, but he manages to recover it. Rips a pass to Augie Monroe, who sinks it through the small hoop, and we're tied at 1.
That was some great initial patience from Team Belgium on their offense. It got a little unfortunate after one hoop was knocked down, and they only had 2 hoops to work with. When you're going to take a shot like that, I think we said this in a couple other games. You got to make sure that it's not just going to end up as a fast.
Here comes DeWitt. He gets through Sanchez. He gets into the lane. He floats a pass. Drive comes in. Big finish there. I believe that was hard to see the jersey numbers.
40.
Nathan will put that through off of the great pass from DeWitt. So we questioned if Belgium, the way they won their previous games, was going to work against the USA point finders. That time, at least, DeWitt gets the better of Luis Sanchez, gets into the lane, draws the attention, finds the pass behind the hoops, and a great finish by Will Put. Sanchez going to bring the ball up now. Jackson Johnson protecting him. Bludger control is still with the Belgian side. Jackson Johnson with a great catch, and then a kick beat. Monroe gets the ball behind, pump fakes, shoots 2 goals for Augie Monroe. That ties the score at 20-20. And that turns bludger control over to the American side. Jackson Johnson, off that great catch, is able to win control for himself and Bailey Fields.
God, we're already seeing a great game from both teams here, just going back-to-back goals against each other.
Louis Lermit has subbed in at beater for Belgium. We'll see if he's able to win control back for his side. DeWitt handling the ball again for Belgium. Screen coming on Sanchez. DeWitt has space now, gets into the keeper zone. Sanchez wraps him up, so he's just going to send it right back up top. Pass is bobbled, and the referee was unfortunately kind of in the way there. So Josh Johnson is going to come with the loose ball and get right to the hoop for an easy goal. Great defense into offense for Team USA. They take their first lead of the match, 30-20.
Yeah, an unfortunate or fortunate, depending on who you're cheering for right now, block from the referee in order to cause a fast break for Team USA there.
And great defense from Team USA to force the kind of bobbled pass that eventually the referee ends up in the way of. But that was good defense from Team USA. A lot of pressure put on them there.
And great awareness in order to make that fast break as well.
DeWitt handling the ball now. Hermans looks like she's going to try to set another screen on Monroe. But Luis Sanchez is just going to slide onto DeWitt instead. Here comes Lermit making an aggressive play for bludger control. And DeWitt tries to find a shot behind, or pass behind this, but it's knocked down by Josh Johnson. And Rachel Heald's pushing the ball in transition. She's going to hit Augie Monroe. Monroe is wrapped up, loses the ball, gets it back. His shot goes high, but it's a pass to Luis Sanchez who puts it through. 40-20, America in the lead. And the first USA chance breakout from the crowd.
The Belgium beater who made the beat right there, I can't get their name unfortunately, they just subbed off, so we do have to change in the beater game. Just was a little too slow on the beat, and that allowed Team USA to get that goal.
Here comes DeWitt. Gonna pass it behind again. This is the look Belgium's been going for almost every time. Ball's gonna go back up top now to Hermans. Now back to DeWitt. DeWitt is beat, and that should be another fast break for the United States. Sanchez is gonna dodge a beat and easily land through the short hoop. So after an initial run from the Belgian side, Team USA is out to a 50-20 lead, and they're on a 4-0 run.
The Team USA beaters doing an amazing job getting to the next pass. Oh!
Augie Monroe poked the ball out in the keeper zone, but he is beat, and the ball eventually should end up. No! Taylor Crawford out-hustles the Belgian side, and Team USA is going to get the ball for free here. And the third bludger is way behind the Americans' hoops. Here comes Josh Johnson. Floats the pass. It bounces off the hoop. Taylor Crawford's trying to get to it. Met by Will Put. Crawford stays in bounds. Huge hit from Will Put, who's got his hand on the ball. But Will Put is beat because Jackson Johnson is just dominating the bludger play. Now John Jackson has the ball. Jackson's going to drive. Tries to float the pass. DeWitt deflects it. It bounces back to Jackson, who puts it through.
Current score 6-2 in favor of USA.
And that was just hustle and effort from the United States to get a turnover when Belgium should have never turned the ball over, and then they managed to turn it into something despite some good effort from the Belgian chasers. Belgium's beaters are going to need to find a way to get control back because this pair of Jackson Johnson and Bailey Fields has been dominant for the United States side since winning control back. Pass from DeWitt. Jackson Johnson tries to block the ball with the bludger and succeeds. Belgians first to the ball, but they're wrapped up and beat, and now John Jackson's going to push the pace. Gauzenich trying to set a screen. Jackson gets through DeWitt, gets through another tackle, finishes. Impressive finish from John Jackson there, and it's now 70-20. America has fully taken control of this game.
Bit of a rocky start. Not a rocky game now.
Here comes DeWitt. Goes for the long pass to the side again, unable to be handled by Van Elseker. And eventually the result of this should be Team USA ends up with the ball. Tate K subbed in for Jackson Johnson and picking up right where Johnson left off, using his speed to just control the field. Lindsay Morel came up with the loose ball there, and then Tate K is there to clean it up. Bludger control does end up in the hands of Belgium here. We saw they were much more effective with that than without, and we'll see if they can turn this back around. Team USA is on a 60-0 run right now. Tate K blocks the beat. Two of the bludgers on the ground. A press attempt from Belgium here. John Jackson's going to send it across to Janko Gavozenovic. Gavozenovic is beat. Ball goes back to Lindsay Morella. Reset used by the United States. Chaos in the bludger game. Control still going to be at the Belgian side. Tate K is going to come up with one. Belgium's thinking about a press. Not going to take it. Quad ball ends up back with Janko Gavozenovic. Going to try to work now on Herman. Pass goes across. John Jackson's not able to get to it. DeWitt is first to the loose ball. Gavozenovic is beat. It's one-on-one. DeWitt versus Jackson. Jackson is beat and continues playing. I think DeWitt is pretty justifiably upset. John Jackson was beat and continued the tackle. Probably didn't feel the beat, but it was several seconds after Jackson was beat that he finally let go, and I think DeWitt's going to end up being given back the ball here.
The thing that's unfortunate, even if DeWitt gets the ball back, is that the Team USA beater and Taylor Crawford was able
Caught up to him
and was able to get into a better defensive position. We are getting a yellow card
on John Jackson for the continuing the contact. Crawford's on the stretch. DeWitt can shoot this right away. He'd be able to get the shot before he was beat, but Taylor Crawford's going to do his best to disrupt it. I know DeWitt trusts that shot. We'll see what he's thinking here. Savior play might be to try to throw it back to his teammates, but he's very close to the hoop if he trusts the shot.
It doesn't look like he's about to make that pass back either. His body is fully facing the hoops.
And about this volume.
All right, we'll see what DeWitt is thinking here. That's a good foul from John Jackson. Effectively stopped a goal for Belgium. TK is right there to make the beat. We'll see what DeWitt is going to do. DeWitt throws it backwards, but Lindsey Morel almost gets to it first. Janko Gavozenovic is beat. So now, and eventually in that scrum, Belgium is going to end up with the ball, and DeWitt's going to get it back. Big tackle from Casey Irwin. Missed beat from TK, but he's going to pick up the loose dodgeball. Beat DeWitt. DeWitt gets the pass off. Ramp, neck contact possibly. No ref has their hands up, so it's going to be fine. DeWitt still playing. I thought DeWitt got beat earlier in that sequence. Yeah, DeWitt got beat earlier in that play in the back, right as he got the pass off. So I think this is going to turn over to Team USA.
Yeah, we're starting to see a very scrappy game from Team Belgium on offense here.
Yeah, definitely both teams want this game. Belgium's a little frustrated to be down 5. And they're going to give DeWitt a yellow card for playing after a beat. So Team USA will get the quad ball, and temporarily the teams will be even. But John Jackson's going to have a lot less time left on his penalty than DeWitt is. Team USA, the USA fans echoing the "you can't do that" call that was made against Jackson when he committed his foul. Now that DeWitt's the one getting called for the card. So Taylor Crawford's going to have the ball with, it looks like, wide open field in front of him. There is one beater here.
But you've got Casey Irwin about to pick up a dodgeball to keep up.
Hainbach is going to have to try a desperation beat here. He's looking at Irwin, didn't even see Crawford. Gets beat in the back, and Crawford gets the goal. Was one extra beater back for Belgium, Lena Knotts, but she's not able to beat Crawford before he gets the shot off. And Belgium is going to take their timeout.
That's a good timeout for Team Belgium.
Yeah, it's 80-20, and America's on an unanswered 7-goal run. So a smart timeout from Belgium here. So what are you telling your side if you're coaching Belgium right now in the huddle, Julia? You took this timeout. What are you telling the team in the huddle?
I'm telling my team to calm down. They're making some unforced errors on offense. We're having some passes that are getting bobbled. And when Team USA's beaters are getting right in your face, I know it can be hard sometimes, but you have to make that calm, crisp pass to your teammate. You can't just have it go flying in the air where you have Taylor Crawford right there, ready to pick it up and run the entire field. You got to calm down, take your time. When you were taking your time and playing your game, you were tied with Team USA, and that's where you want to be. And I just got lost in the offense when Team USA started to press them.
Yeah, I think once bludger control turned over to that pair of Jackson Johnson and Bailey Fields for Team USA, the game completely turned, right? Belgium was up 20-10 and had bludger control for those first couple minutes. Once Jackson and Fields Johnson Fields won it back, completely different game. Belgium wasn't able to respond super well to the pressure. A lot of turnovers or just plays where they aren't able to get the looks that they were getting on those first few possessions. And that puts Team USA in a position where they're getting stops and getting out and running, which is what this team wants to do best. Belgium's been decently effective in their half-court defense against Team USA. They at least forced them to play slow, even when they have finally gotten the goals. But these transitions are just too easy for Team USA.
Yeah. And that speaks to a problem I referenced to earlier with Team Belgium, is that we just need to have some more physicality on defense with them.
So that's Fien van Elseker handling the ball now for Belgium. DeWitt is subbed for the first time in this contest. Chaos in the beater game, but it's eventually going to result in control of Team USA. Gets the pass off behind the hoops. Belgium's going to send it back up, but she's going to be beat. Taylor Crawford's going to be first to loose ball, and it's going to be another just uncontested run to the hoops for Team USA. Crawford puts it right through. 90-20, and Team USA totally in control of this game.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. The Team Belgium chaser threw it to their teammate where TK was right there. You have to be able to keep your composure so that you can read the field and see where your pass should be going.
TK is going to get penalized. Possibly. One ref is saying one thing, one ref is saying another thing. So TK did what is a legal play if it's close enough. He beamed a bludger at a Belgian chaser who was far away, and it missed and rolled out of bounds. Belgium was complaining about it. One ref seemed to agree. Another ref seemed to say it's fine. They're just going to reset the bludger to the hard boundary. And that looks like the case. So no foul. That was a clean play by TK. They're just going to reset the bludger to the hard boundary.
We've got a switch up in the Team USA chaser game, too, that we'll address in just a second.
Ball goes behind the hoops. Met by Ian Skura. Good screen on Skura. That's going to create some space for Van Elseker. Ball resets. Beat. Ball's going to sail out of bounds. Nick DeLue not able to handle that. A lot of aggressive bludger play, and we've got a hand up from the referees.
We've got Ethan
TK, I think,
Skura.
is very frustrated about the contact from the Belgian beater there. Assistant coach for Team USA, Ethan Stern, trying to get him to calm down. And that looked like it was definitely a physical play. We weren't able to tell from here if it was illegal or out of bounds or anything, but definitely Belgium not able to win control back just by making throws, is now trying to make physical plays against the Team USA beaters to try to win control. And it looks like things are fine now. Kay and the Belgian beater shake hands. That's Matthias Hainbach and he's going to get the card. Oh, sorry. The 99 and 66 is tough for us with reverse jerseys. That's Victor Morgott who's going to get the card at beater. And Tate K is also going to get the yellow card for the comment I think he made after the penalty. So both beaters are going to go to the box. So both teams down a beater now. Neither team can really have control, but Casey Irwin, Team USA's one beater to the play, is all the way on the Belgian side holding the dodgeball. I think the quad ball is going to end up in Team USA's hands, and if so, they're going to have a chance to rush right away here.
Because Jackson with the quad ball in a wide open field in front of him.
And Belgium's one beater still in is behind Team USA's hoops. She doesn't have a teammate to relay it to because Morgott is in the box, so she's going to have to try to just run the length of the field. It's going to need to be the Belgian chasers coming up with a physical stop here.
Team USA is going to have a lot of great options here. You've got John Jackson with the ball, an amazing driver. You've got Leo Freed ready to go behind the hoops. You've got Julia Bear and Ian Skura flanking Jackson. Both amazing wing chasers, know how to make those cuts, and both can shoot if need be. Lot of great options for Team USA.
Jackson and Skura together is a fun look. Normally John Jackson's playing with that second line, especially New York Chasers. Skura plays with this third line, but all the other subs haven't except Jackson stayed in the play. So now we'll get to see two of the very best, not keepers anymore, but hoops defenders in the sport, and two very talented ball handlers as well. Jackson's just going to sub right away. Belgium has the ball. So it did get turned over to Belgium as a result of Tate K's yellow card. And here comes the drive. But Belgium's going to slow it down now. Here comes Van Stinkiste. Ian Skura breaks up the pass and gets the stop for Team USA. And now Skura wants to push in transition. Breaks one tackle. Passes to Julia Bear, but leads her too much and it's going to sail out of bounds. So a great look in transition for Team USA there, but Belgium does a good job getting their chasers back. They make Skura see a beater and a chaser, and he just pushes the pass a little wide of Julia Bear.
We've got a couple switch-ups in the Team Belgium chasing line, too.
20 seconds left on
Yeah, I think that's Hagemon's possibly. Skura blocks the shot there. And Team USA should be able to kill the rest of Tate K's penalty. Tyler Trudeau in the game for the first time. They're going to rush. Trudeau gets it to Julia Bear, looking for the give and go. Bear's going to go across to Leo Freed instead, able to handle it off the bounce. Makes the fake, goes all the way back up to Skura. Julia Bear just posts up next to the hoop. He's going to find her. She's going to fake, get through the block attempt, and find the second hoop and score. And Team USA now to a 120 lead. And Freed immediately tried to force a turnover like we saw Augie Monroe do earlier. Wrapped up with Belgium's chaser and keeper there.
Looks like Freed might have been successful in forcing that turnover. He was, and he's able
Freed's going to get to inbound the ball as a result of that turnover. Still no bludger back into play for Belgium. Team USA will get a chance at another goal without bludgers. Tyler Trudeau coming to the screen. Skura's going to run the other way instead. Hoop gets knocked down. Going to pass it off to Julia Bear. Team USA taking their time even without a bludger in the play. Skura finds Trudeau. Finishes. Great basketball-style ball movement from Team USA there with no bludgers, and they take a 110-20 lead.
a great cut by Tyler Trudeau there, right to the hoop, calling for the ball from Skura. Great play.
And Team USA is temporarily down bludgers. Here comes Matt Brown back to play and should get the beat in the back. Pass gets floated behind. Tyler Trudeau's there to make the hit. Brings down and knocks the ball out from the Donker. And Team USA comes up with another stop. The physical defense, huge again for the United States. Even when Belgium is getting some no-bludger opportunities, they're feeling the pressure of the physical chaser defense from the United States, and that's why you're seeing the difference you do on the scoreboard.
We have Matt Brown in the beating game for Team USA now.
Skura's going to go deep to Julia Bear. Gets the beat run all the way through and then just goes back to Skura. So forcing Belgium to bend their defense a little bit. Skura gets in nice and close, finds Leo Freed. Freed fakes the defender out of his shoes and puts the ball through the medium hoop. 120-20, Team USA in the lead. John Jackson's going to sub for Darian Marsick Ellis. I think Jackson came back in quickly there because it looked like Tyler Trudeau was hobbling a little bit after his shift. Possibly just cramps.
12:45.
We're at the 12:45 mark. We'll get to the heat stoppage in a couple minutes here. A lot of fancy footwork here. But a huge wrap from Leo Fried knocks the ball out of Eritz's hands, and here comes Julia Bear in transition. She's going to go back to Fried, slow it down as Belgium has bludger control and gets their defense back in set. So Lynn Richard's going to sub in. She has been Matt Brown's go-to beater partner this entire tournament. Both first-time Team USA players. Skura passes off to Fried, also a first-time Team USA player. Back to Skura, to Julia Bear, who's not a first-time Team USA player, been here since 2016. Down to Marcic Ellis. Marcic Ellis goes to Bear, back to Fried. Fried goes to Skura in the middle. A lot of open hoops to shoot on or cutters. Skura, thinking, goes for the shot. It gets swatted down, and eventually the stop is made by Belgium. Good keeping there by Vince Tekiste.
13-14.
Sorry, I asked a lot. I apologize.
We're going to have a little ref stoppage here.
I think one of the...
We need a replacement AR.
And we're just going to have one of the arrows that's going to need to take a replacement.
We need a replacement AR.
So one of the arrows is going to require a replacement. It'll be a minute before we're able to get someone from another field. So Julia, Team USA, I believe after that stop, they still lead by 100 points, 120-20. What has been the key to them being so successful? This is actually the biggest lead they've been out to in this tournament pre-20 minutes.
So something I'm really seeing from Team USA that's causing this, their beaters are doing amazing pressing Team Belgium on defense, and their Team USA chasers are right there to clean up the ball. They're anticipating the passes, they're knocking the shots and the passes down, and it's just giving them run after run on this pitch, and we're just not seeing an answer for it from Team Belgium. I've hit on it a couple of times now. We need hits from them. We need somebody to get in the way of these drivers, and we've seen a couple of attempts, but nothing that's
matching
really
what Team USA is
stood out
bringing.
to me
Yeah.
as much as Team USA's defense here.
Yeah, and of course the dodgeball control mostly being in Team USA's favor has been a huge factor as well. Even when they've lost it, they've been able to win it back off Belgium. And when Belgium's had it, they haven't been able to run presses effectively the way the United States has, and that's meant Belgium has not gotten to play in transition, really except for one opportunity this entire game. Otherwise, it's been half-court set after half-court set, and those are always just going to be more difficult to score, and we're seeing them try a few different things, but they're just not able to really break this press from the United States, and it's got Team USA out to a huge, huge lead.
Something I'm also seeing from Team USA that I want to see a little bit more from Team Belgium is just field awareness. We're getting passes from Team Belgium to players who are covered by Team USA beaters. Again, speaking to the greatness of the Team USA beaters so far, they're doing an amazing job with that. But Team Belgium as chasers, you gotta make sure you're seeing where those beaters are and passing maybe away from the opposition's beaters, just so that you're not getting swallowed up there.
And don't be afraid to just burn it deep. We saw one play where they had the ball behind the hoops, a beater bearing down them, they tried to throw it back towards half court, and that's where the second beater for Team USA is. And that just leads to a really easy fast break for the United States. At least if you get beat deep behind your own hoops, Team USA's got to go get the ball and run a much longer distance. You throw it back towards half court, it gets turned over there. That's too easy for the United States. They're already within 18, 19 yards of the goal.
You've done half the work for them.
Right. All right, we have the replacement referee. Teams are headed back out to their brims. So Team USA leading 120-20. The line right now for the United States: Ian Skura, Darian Marcic Ellis, Leo Fried, and Julia Bear, along with Matt Brown and Celine Richard in the beater game. We've got Eleanor Devilpois in the game for Belgium at chaser. I believe that's Eritz handling the ball. Protected by Mies in the beater game. Mies trying to put pressure on Richard. Does beat Richard, and that should be dodgeball control to Team Belgium. Here comes the pass behind the hoops. Pass is a bounce pass. Big hit from Marcic Ellis on Devilpois. The ball is saved from going out of bounds. And a kick pass. Oh, but can't handle it. A beautiful kick directly to the Belgian teammate, but he's not able to handle the pass. It is beat. That would have been a goal and a half. But unable to handle the pass, the Team USA does come up with a stop.
Every time I stop
That's
stretching,
30 seconds to heat time.
so
30 seconds away from the heat stoppage. Ian Skura passes off to Julia Bear.
hanging out here for a bit. I'll let you know if I'm not good.
20 seconds
Bear met by
to heat
Devilpois.
time.
Back to Skura. Now down to Leo Fried. Fried loves this shot on this hoop if he can get to it. Now we're just going to go back to Skura. Matt Brown trying to create some space. Marzigalis has a wide open hoop. Skura goes for the shot instead. It rims out, and Belgium's going to come up with a stop.
I don't hate that shot from Skura. Usually he's able to drain those, and the hoop was wide open there.
Like the
No
pass to
shame in taking
Marzigalis
it.
better, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely a better option, but I don't necessarily hate the shot.
Yes, we've seen Skura hit that one. So it'll be another stoppage because we've made the 15-minute mark. As we've mentioned, due to the heat out here, we're taking a heat stoppage at every 15-minute mark in every game. So Team USA still leads 120-20. We've seen an end to their scoring run over these last few possessions here, but they're holding on to a very, very solid 100-point lead here at the 15-minute mark. So Belgium gets another break here. They've had their timeout. They've had the stoppage to replace the referees, and now look at this stoppage as well. Just more opportunity to discuss a change in strategy possibly. How can they win bludger control back off this American side? I think has to be the question in this huddle.
Can I have some cream?
And hold it once they get it, right? When Belgium has grabbed bludger control from the Americans, they've only been able to hold it for a possession or two before losing it. There needs to be a happy medium between having bludger control and not using it at all, and being reckless enough that you're losing it. But I think the hardest part with that is Team USA's beaters have more leeway to focus on Team Belgium's beaters because their chasers are just outmatching Belgium's physically, and it's giving them more time. If Belgium's beaters focus in on Team USA's beaters to try to maintain control, beat them out, and go for a press, the Team USA chasers are pretty consistently getting around the tackle attempts from Belgium and being able to find goals off of that. It's hard to mid-tournament just become more physical as a team, right? But that's the biggest thing for Belgium here is they're just getting out-physicaled by these United States chasers. In the beater game,
It just seems that Team USA, their chasers and beaters are working better together as well. The chasers, like you said, are giving the beaters ample opportunity to do what they need to do. And vice versa, the beaters are leading the chasers in for every single goal if need be. And I feel like Team Belgium, although they have great chasers, they have amazing beaters, they need to be a more cohesive unit in order to get that control back from Team USA.
and we've seen Team USA look vulnerable at points this weekend, right? In the game against Norway, Everberg was able to routinely shake the Team USA point defenders, get into lane, and hit her shots on the hoops. And in the African Nations game, the physicality from the African Nations chasers gave Team USA some problems. But in this game, Belgium has not been able to get into the teeth of the defense, right? Except for that one time that DeWitt got in as we resume here. They've been trying to work the sides. And here, Fried again is going to try to meet a wrap. Big wrap, and here comes the beaters right away from Team USA, and that's going to be another turnover. Belgium not able to get into the lane, and even with bludger control now in Belgium's hands, Team USA was able to run a one bludger press and get the turnover. John Jackson's going to sub back in. Looks like Team USA is going to go with all Warriors line, the national champions in the U.S. season. Taylor Crawford, John Jackson, Lindsey Morello, and Darian Marsic-Ellis. Still Matt Brown, Sloan Richard. Brown with a big beat. Ball goes behind to Marsic-Ellis. Across to Lindsey Morella. She's going to shake a tackle attempt. Her shot is blocked, though. Good hoops defense there from Nick Deleu, and Belgium comes up with a nice stop there. And they're able to hold on to bludger control as well. So that's what we discussed, being able to hold on to bludger control and create stops.
Exactly.
And let's see, Lindsey Morella trying to run another press here, but Belgium's going to be able to pass around this one. We're seeing DeWitt back in the game, played a 5 or 6 minute shift at the start of the game and haven't seen him since. He's back now. As well as Louis Lermette in the game back at beater. Ball's going to go. Shot attempt is blocked by Marsic-Ellis. Both beaters back now for Belgium. So Team USA will just slow it down and go into their half-court offense. And the shot's not there for Margot Albrecht on that one. Pass goes back to John Jackson. Big beat attempt by Matt Brown, but so far the beaters holding on to it for Belgium. And that's what we talked about. Belgium's beaters locked in on the American beaters, so John Jackson able to find Taylor Crawford who's for a quick goal. Belgium's going to push the other way, though. Here comes DeWitt. Goes for the shot in transition. It is good, and that's what we're talking about. When Belgium is able to get into the keeper zone, they have chasers who can finish those shots. That time we see DeWitt put it right through the tall hoop. But it's a net zero because Team USA scored on the other side because the Belgian beaters were so locked in and the American beaters that Taylor Crawford was left wide open behind the hoops and finds the easy shot.
Exactly.
So 130-30 now. our score in favor of the United States. Seen Belgium look a little more effective here coming out of that most recent timeout, but we'll have to see if they can string together goals and stops if they're going to be able to carve into this deficit. Giving up the goal and getting one back is nice, but you need to start stringing together stops if they're going to shrink this deficit. And Matt Brown for Team USA is going to get a yellow card for ignoring referee calls. So we'll see if that gives Belgium a chance to turn around and get some goals back up a player.
I'll give you 30, 20, 10, and 5, and I'll let you go.
So it's going to be an immediate turnover to DeWitt. Sloan Richard is there throwing bludger, but she's immediately going to be beat by, I believe, that's Pienz. Sloan Richard blocks it, though. Beats DeWitt. Pass is broken up. Belgium will retain it. Big pressure from Marilla, but eventually she's beat. And so Albrecht will slowly walk the ball for Belgium. They're still up a beater. And now Richard is beat. Here comes the rush. And here comes Will Put, gets right in, as we talked about. When Belgium's able to get into the teeth of the zone, they have players who can finish those shots. It's just being able to do that more consistently. That time, up a beater. Third beaters take Celine Richard out of the play, create a lane to drive in, and Will Put is able to very nicely put it through. 130-40 now our score. Big exchange of beats between Daniel Williams and Lermitz. Here comes John Jackson on the drive. Breaks one tackle. Is beat. Pass to Marilla is broken up. And Belgium should come up with a stop here. And maybe another chance to push here for Belgium if they want it. Team USA is back at full strength but only has one bludger. And Marilla is behind the play, but she gets to her rim and is going to tag up. So it'll be a full half-court defense here for the United States. Will Put handling the ball. Goes behind. Now back up to Will Put. Will Put, another pass off. Draws the beat, but Daniel Williams recovers it. Ball was passed towards a beater, not a chaser, and it's just going to roll out of bounds. Team USA will get the stop. And Daniel Williams should win bludger control for the United States there and get the stop.
We are approaching the 20-minute mark where the flag runner is going to be a release. So far, we only have one seeker, and that's for Team Belgium. We've got Glenn
Bellajou.
Bellajou.
And here comes Ryan Davis from the United States. John Jackson handling the ball, bringing it down behind. Floats it deep to Marcicalis. Marcicalis has space to work now. Dodges one tackle. His shot goes high and is called good. That from our angle looked like it hit the top of the rim and did not go in. And some of the assistant referees are saying the same, but the head referee called good. So there will be a discussion.
There's a reason.
No good.
Yeah, exactly.
So head referee listens to his assistant referees. Goal is no good. And Team USA not going to get the goal there. Belgium should have the ball off that missed shot. So we should resume here with Belgium with the quad ball. No, Taylor Crawford has it. So Team USA won the foot race to the ball, even though the goal was called good, and they'll get to hold on to it here. And Crawford is going to break one tackle, but get brought down, gang tackle, and Belgium is going to come up with the stop. And now it's more like it from Belgium, like we talked about, matching the United States physicality. That time they did it, a great gang tackle.
Yes. That's exactly what I've been wanting to see from them. I hope they're going to keep that up.
Here's DeWitt. Sends it over to...
20 seconds.
She's going to rip the shot, but it's deflected. Not to be a good look there from Hagemans, but not able to sink the shot. Like the confidence we've talked, when Belgium gets into the zone, they have good shooters. That time she gets into a threatening spot, but John Jackson reads it and blocks it. Seekers are released. Ryan Davis is going to get there first. Belgium seeker is beat. Lamit's going to get the beat on Davis, though, so Belgium should have at least some chance at the snitch, although Team USA dominating control. The pair of Daniel Williams and Bailey Fields, who's played a ton of minutes in this game, has Fields, one of the best beaters in the sport. Patience from the United States. Sanchez goes to Marilla. Marilla goes across to Heald. Heald back to Sanchez. Louis Lermit is staying in the quad ball game for Belgium. Now going to try to put pressure on Sanchez. Back to Rachel Heald. Goes to Marilla. To Jackson. Back to Marilla. Lermit beats Jackson. Now going at Marilla. Marilla is stripped. Is going to protect the quad ball, though. So eventually Rachel Heald's going to get to that loose ball. So good defense there from Belgium. That was a really, really heads-up play to knock the ball out of Marilla's hands there by Hermans, but not to be, as Team USA is able to recover the loose ball. Ryan Davis getting a lot of time with the snitch. John Jackson going to put some pressure on the defense now. It goes deep behind the hoops to Sanchez. Sanchez goes for the stiff arm. Does manage to break the tackle. We'll have to break second tackle. Shoves a chaser into the ground. Gang tackle. Eventually passes it to Jackson, though, and Jackson puts it through. So Sanchez draws a lot of bodies and dishes it off. Another goal is going to make it 140-40 in the United States' favor. Here comes DeWitt for Belgium as Leo Fried, subbing at Seeger for the United States, have some time with the flag runner. Behind, the shot is deflected by Rachel Heald. It looks like Belgium is going to come up with the loose ball, so they'll get another crack at it. Hagemans tries to drive on Julia Bear, is tackled but gets it to DeWitt. DeWitt's wrapped by Sanchez. Back to Hagemans. Going to try out Julia Bear again. This time gets past her. Met by Jackson.
Oh!
Dish across. Beautiful through the
Wow.
contact. Gets Jackson looking at her. Dishes across the field. Beautiful pass from Hagemans and a great finish by Hermans.
We're going to have a rough stoppage. A little bit of contact, I think, in the beater game.
So 140-50, Team USA in the lead here. And as you mentioned, looks like it's going to be discussion about a call in the beater game. Daniel Williams is having a back and forth with the assistant referee. No, it's on Leo Fried, the seeker.
And that's what I get for talking before the ref does.
So Fried, I think there made contact with the snitch that wasn't going to be allowable. So Fried will be sent to the box. Belgium will have 60 seconds where they have the only opportunity on the flag runner. And Ethan Sturm, assistant coach of the United States, making his feelings felt to the referees, but the call is going to stand. Quad ball will be turned over because it's a yellow card on Fried, so big advantage for Belgium here. They're going to have all day with the seeker or a goal if they want it. The goal would release Fried, so we'll see what they want to do here. DeWitt passes it back. That'll burn their reset. Back to Hagemans, so that beautiful pass, drive and dish on that last sequence for Belgium. Ball goes back to DeWitt. And it's going to be all day on the snitch for Belgium. I believe that's de Doncoeur trying to make the catch. Sanchez in the keeper zone, so that beat is for nothing. Big beat from Daniel Williams, and now he's going to turn around and try to pressure the quad ball. Williams gets the pass off, but Belgium's beater is going to throw it back. That'll just be a second reset, and Team USA will get the stop. Daniel Williams completely dominating the field there. Takes out the beaters, takes out the seekers, takes out the chasers.
It was everywhere on that play.
So 140-50, still our score in favor of the United States. Only a few seconds left on Fried's penalty. And the quad ball is going to get turned over to the United States. Sanchez will have it right at midcourt. 23 seconds left on Fried's penalty. Sanchez is going to handle the quad ball for the United States. And I think it looks like there's going to be a penalty on Belgium.
Yellow card. Belgium 33, face beat.
So an excessive face beat made by Louis Lermit is going to send Lermit to the box as well. So Belgium will be down a beater. Sanchez is going to take his time here. Daniel Williams loses one bludger there, but of course with only one bludger in the game for Belgium, that shouldn't amount to much. Michael Parada, head coach, telling his chasers not to score because he doesn't want the beater to get released. As long as they make some pressure on the hoop, they won't call for that game. But Julia Bear just turns it over there. A good read by Hermans to just step into the passing lane there. Here comes DeWitt. DeWitt is beat. Daniel Williams got the beater and the keeper there. Sanchez is going to be first to the ball on the ground. Floated to Julia Bear, and she's going to put it through. And that pushes Team USA's lead to 150-50. And Leo Fried is back and got a lot of time with the flag runner here. Here comes the flag. Catch, no good. Seeker is knocked down. Snitch is knocked down by the seeker for Belgium side. Daniel Williams with a long beat attempt. That's called no good on Lermit. We're
going to have a little switch up in the seeker game from Team USA. Fried subbing for Trudeau.
We haven't seen Tyler Trudeau seek yet this tournament. A lot of chasing. We saw him briefly chase in this game before. It looked like cramping up and taking a quick sub. But Trudeau is the most physically overpowering seeker the United States have, and it looks like that's going to be the tactic they go for. Just try to outmuscle that snitch and come up with the grab.
That is something I really like about Team USA Seeking Core is that you can just throw so many types of play styles at the flag runner that eventually you're going to get somebody who works well against them.
Yeah. 4 different seeker types for the United States. Freed, with that kind of technical style. Trudeau going to try to overwhelm them physically. Mohagog with the long arms. And, of course, Ryan Davis, who can kind of do a little bit of everything.
We've got a card on Belgium's seeker.
Yeah, that's Victor Marks for Belgium, who's now in the box. So just an avalanche of cards on both sides in these last few minutes here. But the result is Belgium seeker in the box. Quad ball is going to turn over to the United States. I'm sure Team USA is going to go slow again here because Trudeau is the only seeker in the game. Lemit trying to create a press there, but it's not to be. Team USA is patient, moving around it. Sanchez is going to take his time. And now Tyler Trudeau should have some one-on-one time. Lemit's going to try to pressure the quad ball. Ball goes to Rachel Heald. She's going to be pressured. Try to go across. It's intercepted, but Tyler Trudeau, the flag kick's going to be called no good. Johnson with the strip there. And so Team USA is going to end up back with the quad ball. I think the crowd, no one ever blew their whistle. It seemed like a lot of players thought there was going to be a discussion about the flag catch. And Johnson realized the whistle wasn't blown and got the turnover for the United States. Rachel Heald is wrapped and brought down hard, and Belgium's going to get the stop off of it. DeWitt throws it across the field to Aerts.
Marks is back in.
So Belgium will have their seeker back. DeWitt bringing up down the side now. A lot going on the field. Sorry, that's Nick DeLue in at keeper for Belgium now. Going to work on Sanchez. Here comes the beater pressure from Matt Brown for the United States. Ball goes back up to Hermans. Herman thinking about just burning it deep. Tries to get it to him. And that looks like a possible catch for Ryan Davis for the United States. So Team USA up 150-50. If this catch is good, Team USA would win by a final score of 180-50. And despite how dominant Belgium looked in their first 3 pool play games, Team USA really, aside from the first 3 minutes, was totally in control of this one.
Yes. Team USA was able to get it together after about 5 minutes of iffy play. And they're coming up with the win because of it.
So the catch is good. Team USA wins. They win 180-50. They will go 4-0 on the day and be a 1 seed heading to brackets tomorrow. And for Belgium, the run's not over. They go 3-1. They're going to come second in the pool. They're through the quarterfinals tomorrow as well. Final thoughts on both teams, Julia?
With Belgium, I know I was hammering in on their physicality. I'm glad they found it. It was just a little bit too late this game. If we were to see these 2 teams play each other again, I do believe that Belgium is going to have that drilled into their head. I have to imagine it's going to be something that they talk about, and it's going to be a close game because of it. Team USA, dominant as always, great chasing. The beaters were phenomenal this game. They were I believe that the beaters are the reason that USA did so well this game. Great chasing, of course, but the beaters were just creating every opportunity.
The question for every team tomorrow is, are they going to be able to match up with the beaters from Team USA? We've seen teams who have been able to match up for moments in the chasing game. Team USA's beaters have dominated, and that's why they're 4-0 today. We'll see if that changes tomorrow. We're signing off. Stay tuned for the last game on this pitch coming up next.